All right, boys. GC MMA or GC picks, whichever one we're gonna be going as going forward, boys. We said we were gonna come in here on Monday and start trying to do some new stuff with the baseball picks because when we go 2 weeks without UFC, we gotta find something to do in the meantime, boys. So just wanted to hop on here and let you guys know what we were taking for today and see how you guys like these videos.
Yeah, boys, it's the first time on the channel we're doing something other than MMA, so we'll see how this goes. But we've been doing all right this year with the baseball. Definitely had some hot weeks and some cold weeks, but hopefully when we start recording this video, we get that beginner's luck and we start off the slate strong.
Yeah, guys, and it's what's important to note is that while we certainly look at every single game on the slate, we're not going to be given a play out for every single game. Like with the UFC, it's cool to predict every single fight because it's an event and it's once a week. But for the baseball stuff, we would literally have a ridiculously losing record if we were predicting every MLB slate on the game. So, uh, C4 has been uh, has been doing pretty good with the player props so far. I don't really look at too much into that, so kind of how I feel like this is generally going to go for the most part is he's going to give you guys some of his player props that he likes for the day just based on pitching matchups and who's the most likely to go over on bases and stuff, and then obviously t toss in the occasional team side or total, and then I'm going to stick with pretty much just going with teams and with totals whenever the time comes. So uh the first game that we liked on this board, we're gonna skip Rockies Marlins, we're gonna skip Brewers Reds, we're gonna skip Angels Red Sox. The only play I personally locked in so far was the Tigers first five. And I know what everyone's thinking, and one thing to note whenever it comes to baseball, football, any of that stuff, we're not afraid to lay the juice. And I was honestly thinking about this the other day, like, why are so many other people like, they only want to do minus 110, they don't like the juice and stuff. What you guys have to remember is that we basically got into this hobby, if you would call it or anything, starting with the MMA plays, and you're not ever finding minus 110 in MMA. So we're pretty much just conditioned to having to take the bigger favorites on what we think is more likely to be a lock. So, I know that Jack Flaherty's probably not looked as great as he could so far this season, but I'm gonna take the Tigers in the first five, not on the run line, just in case they get tied and it's a push. Jonathan Cannon is an auto fade in my opinion, and that's kind of what my thought process was on that.
Yeah, that I thought the same thing when I looked at the slate last night. Jonathan Cannon has been one of those guys who's just known to give up runs, and especially against the Tigers. I know they haven't been hot recently. They've got like one run scored in the
It,
last couple games, but I don't see the white I don't see the White Sox getting to Jack Flaherty here. I mean, he's had a couple rough starts, but it's the White Sox guys. They should be able to get it done.
yeah, and just one important thing to note is at the beginning of this season, actually, this pitching matchup already happened. The Tigers were at home, obviously, but Jonathan Cannon and Jack Flaherty actually pitched against each other on the same day, and Jack Flaherty gave up one earned run and in 5 innings pitched. Obviously, he's kind of been on the decline since that start, but Jonathan Cannon gave up 3 earned runs and a home run in that start. So, people try and say, someone was trying to say like, oh, Jonathan Cannon's numbers at home are really high. But you go and you look through his starts this season, he's had 3 starts at home against the Angels, the A's, and the Astros. His numbers are great in his 3 starts. It's like, well, yeah, he has a much smaller
Was
sample size.
That was probably before the Angels got hot, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was like one of the season debuts, and
Yeah.
the Angels won 1-0.
Oh
So
my
it's like,
gosh.
oh, that's a fantastic fucking start. I don't think so. Every single time this guy's been on the road, pretty much he's gotten shelled. Uh, he has not given up less than 3 earned runs on the road, except for going against Kansas City, who doesn't really put up that many runs to begin with. So, yeah, guys, just to start it off, Tigers on the first five.
Yeah, boys, that's probably my favorite play today. But I got a couple player props as well. The first one, I'm targeting Brent Rooker. He plays for the A's, I mean, sorry, the Athletics. He the weather in this game is crazy, boys. If you I don't know if we could put this on the screen, but the weather report for this game, we've got weather blowing outfield, supporting 32% more likely chance of a home run, plus 6% for two bases, plus 7% for one base, plus 17% for runs. It's the biggest game for weather on the slate. Brent Rooker has three doubles in his last six games, so he's pretty hot right now, and I think he can get to fucking what's this guy's name again? I think he can
Joe
get,
Ryan.
yeah, Joe Ryan. He'll be able to get to Joe Ryan. He's got a 10 out of 10 matchup here on Ballpark Pal. I like Brent Rooker here, boys. And another play that I might end up betting it later. I'm not sure, but I like Otani for bases against that rookie starter for the Mets, Blackburn, whatever his first name, Paul Blackburn, making his rookie start for the Mets. I think Otani's gonna get to this guy. I mean, I don't really need to say much about Otani. He's one of the best hitters if not the best hitter in the whole league right now. So I'm gonna go him for bases. That's all I like today. I mean, the slate wasn't that big, but
It's pretty tiny.
yeah, there'll be other plays later on in the week, so I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, and just to note, guys, like one of the other ones I definitely lean is the over 9.5 in the Dodgers and Mets game. Like we said, um, we've got Blackburn who's making his debut. Typically, those are good spots to fade those players. Um, and the reason that we don't want to just take straight up take the Dodgers is because they have Dustin May, who really, really, really sucks. And I definitely think that the Mets could get to them. This is a rematch of the NLCS, I believe it was last season. Dodgers are at home, so I think with this being kind of like the prime time game, it's got a good chance of going over, but I didn't bet it. Two more things I just wanted to note with you guys. I know a lot of people probably look at the Padres' recent couple games, and then see that Logan Webb is pitching. I'd personally recommend staying away from that game, boys, until Logan Webb gets his head out of his ass. He's not a guy that I plan on backing anytime soon. He's been historically one of the best ones for the Giants in terms of their pitching, but if you look at his last few starts, 3 earned runs against the Tigers, three against Kansas City. I mean, that's pretty bad. One against the Athletics, that's fine, but he gave up 5 earned runs just last month against the Padres, so he hasn't been putting out his best stuff. Even though the Padres aren't super great and the Giants are at home, I would just recommend staying away from that one if you guys were thinking about it. And then I kind of lean the Twins here. I mean, I think Brent Rooker could definitely get to his bases, like he said, for all the reasons. But the Twins have just been a much hotter lineup than the A's recently. Um, they had that massive win streak. I know that they haven't been quite as dominant recently as they were whenever they were like on that win streak, but the A's have just not been winning baseball games consistently recently. So I kind of lean that one as well. Um, Boys, one thing that's important to note is that we're gonna go ahead and drop these leans and stuff in these videos every day. But if you go ahead and follow our Twitter, if we go ahead or X, whatever, if you guys go ahead and
All
follow
right.
that, whenever we actually lock stuff in that we didn't talk about on the video, we'll post it there so that you guys can tail or fade if you want to, guys. Like realistically, we're not gonna try and say that we're the best at this, but we're just going to try and get in the groove of things and see if we do this more in a structured manner every single day, if we can become more of I don't know what I would say professional, just not just slinging plays and shit together, like actually giving them some thought because we have some reason to hit them. And We're going to try our best to figure out Excel and how we're going to track all this stuff because transparency is obviously very important whenever it comes to what we're trying to do here for you guys. And we don't ever want to be the people who are trying to cap and say we win more than we do, boys. So go ahead and check out our X. I believe that is just at, uh, I'm pretty at GC MMA Picks. Just go ahead and give us a follow on there. And like we said, we both have access to that. So if we end up locking anything in, we'll drop them officially on the Twitter.
Yeah, boys, like you said, the biggest thing we want to bring to this is like the transparency aspect to it. Like a lot of people on social media that are like they're bullshitting about their plays and whatnot, just making up lies so people pay for their course and whatever. We don't want to do that. We want to become profitable sports bettors without all the bullshit. Like we're just gonna give out our plays. We're gonna set up an Excel, bro. Like I don't know how to do that shit, but we're about to figure it
Yeah,
out.
we'll figure it out.
Set up a spreadsheet, get all of our plays in there, all of our units, what we took them for odds, everything, so we have a good consistent record that we can go back to. And hopefully down the line when we're fucking up hella, we can be like, hey, nobody can cap on us. We can give you the spreadsheet. We have all the proof, all the slips, everything. So that's the goal with this, and hopefully we end up being profitable. If we end up being in the red, boys, at least you can enjoy the show.
Yeah, and as always, just like with the UFC guys, the main focus of this is obviously going to be UFC. You're probably going to see mostly daily videos about MLB going forward, but that's just because they're every single day. When we get into football season, they're obviously not going to be daily uploads, but we're not leaving MMA in the past. We still want to do this shit. We're just trying to put more content out for everybody and show you a different side of what we like to do. So. Just like the UFC cards, guys, if you're fading or you have any picks for the slates today, always go ahead and drop it in the comments. We love seeing what you guys are doing, boys.
All right, boys. Thank you for tuning in to the first baseball episode. We're taking Tigers first five money line and Brent Rooker over 1.5 bases, boys.
All right, boys. We'll see you tomorrow.